Hello, my loves, and welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coach podcast. Your host here, Michelle Hext. I need to share something very exciting for you, and I know it's going to be really valuable for you too. You can see by the title of this podcast that it is the algorithm can F off. It really can. It can F right off. I took the long weekend off. I'm actually ducking into my office just to record this because I know that if I get out of sync on the Monday, I just don't seem to catch up with the podcast. And I love doing this. I've snuck into my office. This will be the only work that I've done since Friday afternoon at around 2 o'clock. It is now Monday, 11 a.m. So I took the long weekend off. No posts, no stories, zero guilt, because I don't feed the algorithm. I don't chase engagement. What I'm doing with my business is building a business my way, built on my algorithm. So let's talk about that. I am being very deliberate about my content creation these days. You may have sensed a shift in the energy if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Facebook, which is where I'm hanging out these days. And you'll notice that I have really stopped, I guess, holding back with my desire to lead. When I think back to my years of leading my taekwondo school, my taekwondo students, I know I've spoken about this in the past. Leadership felt very effortless to me. If I go back to my childhood, I've always been the one that led things. That's just always been in my DNA, whether it's because I'm an oldest child or whatever, right? Whatever the reason is, it is what it is. And so all of that felt very, very easy until coming online, and then I guess feeling a little bit hamstrung by what's the word? Political correctness, I guess, in one sense, and also just the avalanche of judgment that comes upon us, right? And so I had felt myself being as, true to myself as I could be, but I also felt like there was something missing. And the thing that was missing was me. The thing that was missing was me fully stepping into that leadership role online instead of trying to fly under the radar and let my clients see that side of me, but not really see anybody else, not really have anybody else see that. And so I'm just done with that. And so part of that is saying hell no to anything that is not a hell yes when it comes to the way that I do business now. And it's been this way for quite a while. But one of the things that I know a lot of people trip up on is the algorithm. When clients first start to work with me and we're working on the messaging side of things, they will ask me things like, when's the best time to post? What sort of post? Should it be a carousel? Should it be a this? Should it be a that? And which platform should I be on? And I just put a stop to all of that very, very quickly and let them, I ask them a simple question. Where do you like hanging out? And then they'll tell me and I'll say, are your clients hanging out there? And then they'll say yes. And I'll say, well, that's where we start. Like, we hang out where we want to hang out. And also, obviously, our clients need to be there because otherwise, what's the point? And so we build from there. And then, does it have to be a carousel? When's the best time to post? All of that crap just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So I want you to know this. The real flex isn't burning out for visibility. It's not about hacking the algorithm and trying to make it work for you. That shit is ever changing. It is always changing. We can't keep up unless we want to drive ourselves insane. I have no desire to try to stay ahead of the algorithm or to jump on the next wave. If I'm doing that, I am not doing what makes me happy. And that is working with my clients, creating content that feels amazing in a way that feels amazing to me. And yes, I will put myself out occasionally. I've actually started enjoying reels, which I never ever thought I would start to enjoy, but there's a couple of things unfolding, right? In this new era of my, I guess, I don't know what I want to call it, but I feel like I'm in a new era. And this girl, she makes more of an effort with her appearance. And so the reels keep me honest. They mean that a few days a week, I have to do my hair. I have to wear like good clothes, like, to actually get out of my workout gear. And that's not me being inauthentic. That's not me trying to be something that I'm not. That's just me making myself a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit accountable to my brand, the brand that I've created and that I love. I feel so aligned to my brand right now, and I want to do it justice. I want to be the best ambassador of my brand possible. And so if that means that, I got to pull out the hairdryer a couple of times a week, then I'm going to do that. It's so interesting unpacking why I haven't been doing that. And there has been a push pull for me around social media for since about, I don't know, 2016, 2017. It just didn't feel the same, right? I was talking to a friend this morning and I said, I really enjoyed social media so much more when I didn't have a freaking clue what I was doing. And that's because everything was unscripted, unprompted, I don't know, curated, right? It was just showing up, and I don't think I even ever looked at statistics. I didn't even know where to find them. I didn't give a shit. All I was doing was showing up and sharing my message. And I do feel like I'm back there now, and it feels so nice. That's why I'm enjoying it so much. But I also know that when I show up, having made an effort with my appearance, that the energy's different. It's very, very different. It's definitely more expanded. It definitely feels more, I feel more me. And so I'm chasing that, not the algorithm. I'm chasing the feeling of what makes me feel my most potent, powerful self when I show up online. And that's all I care about. Sometimes I'll post at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm up early and I've written something and I feel like, oh yeah, I want to get that out there. Other times it'll come later in the afternoon because the ideas aren't hitting or it feels a bit forced, and I'm just like, no, we're not doing it yet. We'll get back to it later when we're feeling a little bit more like it's landing the way that or it's going to land the way that I want it to, when I feel like I can say what I want to say. And so chasing the algorithm is not going to be the thing. When you have that level of success that you achieve and you sit back, somewhere fancy, celebrating your wins, and you've got a glass of sparkling in your hand and you're thinking back over what helped you get here, I guarantee you it wasn't because you were, plugged into the algorithm. It's never going to be that. It's never going to be that. And so me taking the entire weekend off, yeah, it's great to recharge, even though content does energize me. It doesn't drain me at all. It energizes me. But I'm teaching my nervous system, one, that I don't need to work to achieve a result. I just don't. I know that on all levels, but my nervous system, it's still playing catch up there. So this is a discipline that I'm practicing into and getting better and better at all the time. This is going to take me a minute, right? I've got decades of, stuff to overcome when it comes to all of that. And, part of me is like, doesn't want to let some of it go. And so this is going to be a work in progress, and I'm okay with that. I'm not after perfection here. I'm just after progress and moving more and more and more into where I want to be and staying there, right? It's about this consistency. It's about maintaining, because we can all have moments, can't we? We can all have moments of whatever it is, right? We can all have moments where we feel powerful and we want to show up. And then we can have like a bunch of days where we don't want to show up at all. And so our job is to create the internal circumstances that allow us to show up consistently, because that's ultimately what we want to do, right? Nobody wants to be inconsistent. We want to be consistent. And so why are we not consistent? Usually it's going to be to do with some things that we need to remove, whether they're beliefs, ideals, expectations, any of those things have to be removed so that we can show up. So it's not about what you need to add. It's not about more. It's about what do you need to remove. So there's that, I guess, I don't know, what is it, a saying? I don't know, where somebody asked a gardener, how do you get your flowers to bloom so beautifully? And the gardener says, I remove anything that stops them from growing. And so I believe that's our job, right? Our job is to remove the things that stop us from thriving and flourishing and moving forward in a really powerful way. It's not about get the better backdrop, lose 50 kilos, like get better hair, do this, do that. It's not about those things. It's about what do we need to remove? Because ultimately, the reality is you can show up now today exactly as you are, and it's going to be enough. Don't let social media fool you. But you get to decide if that's aligned with where your brand is going. And if you need to, like me, make yourself a little bit uncomfortable and change a few things around and, pull out the hairdryer a couple of times a week, if that's what it takes, then are you willing to do that? I am willing to do that. And it feels good to make that decision. And so part of this deliberateness about going offline for a few days, it's like, let's just get out of the energy of posting every day. One, because I have to challenge, my nervous system around that. Two, I want to challenge how re-entry goes for me, because when I go missing for a few days because I'm recharging, sometimes it's, it feels kind of this awkward re-entry when I come back into being online again. And I want to make that transition smoother. I just want to make it a lot smoother than it has been. It's definitely getting that way. But I also want to be deliberate in that, knowing that it's not my job to feed the algorithm. I sent out quite a few emails last week. I did quite a bit of posting last week. I'm just going to let you sit with that. I'm going to let you absorb that. I'm going to let you go back through your inbox and really read those last few emails instead of just layering more on that. And so for me, the balance is not do more. It's definitely do less. And I want to role model that for you as well. So over this long weekend, I haven't touched my business. I know that I built systems that keep speaking, selling, and scaling for me without me feeding the algorithm. This is not kind of an accidental thing. This has been my strategy since last year, moving into this place where I am right now, which is, the woman who is done playing the hustle game and instead really focusing on leverage and potency and knowing that it is enough. And so if you're finding yourself a slave to the algorithm, if you are struggling like I am in terms of or was in terms of having a really hard time stepping away from your business because your nervous system is tied to it, and it feels like if I step back, it feels like, I don't know, I guess it feels like, I remember when I had my babies, and it's like it's challenging to step away from your baby for the day because you don't know what's going on, right? You don't know that somebody's taking good care of it, all those sorts of things. And it can feel a little bit like that. But my business is built on systems now. And I get to show up because I like to show up, because I am a leader and because I have a message to share that nobody else can share like me. That's my job. That's my job to do. But if I don't show up, it doesn't mean that my business isn't working. It doesn't mean that things aren't happening. It just means that I don't need to be there 24/7 like my ego and like my nervous system tells me. And when we try to chase the algorithm, that's just feeding that crap. And we don't need to do that. Imagine what would happen if everybody just decided, you know what, I'm going to post 2 or 3 times a week. That's it. What would happen? Like the world would suddenly calm down and exhale and take a big breath, don't you think? Instead of everybody just throwing shit at the internet 24/7, feeling like, well, I'm going to get forgotten. I'm going to get left behind. The algorithm's going to, not send my stuff out into the feed if I don't do this. I'm not going to be a slave to that. I don't want you to be a slave to that. And I can be calm and I can be relaxed over the weekend. Yeah, there's definitely some work still to be done. That's old conditioning. It's deconditioning. That's going to be an ongoing process. I'm aware of that. But I have large moments of time where I know that I can just relax and enjoy my weekend, and I can not step into my office and everything's going to be fine. And I know that because I've built my business that way. I know that my ads are still running over the weekend. I know that my content is still being consumed, even though nothing fresh has gone out in the last 2 or 3 days. I know that. I'm looking at my stats as I came in this morning to do this podcast for you. And over the last few days, there's been thousands of people who have been streaming. There's been hundreds and hundreds of hours of this podcast being downloaded over the last few days, right? So everything's still working for me. The only thing that needs to catch up is my nervous system and my thinking around it, right? But I'm going to win. I am going to win. I am not here to feed the algorithm beast. And I know I've said that 100 times, but I just refuse to do it. I just don't want to live my life that way. So know that you don't need to do that either. And the clearer you are on who you are and what you stand for, the clearer you are on the problem you solve, the clearer your offer is and how valuable that offer is, and how potent that content is that you've been creating because it's so precise. When all of that is in place, it's much easier to do this. It's much easier to step away and know everything's okay. It's not as easy to do when everything is in chaos, because you're in chaos when you're working. And if you're anything like my brain is, if something isn't right, if I haven't figured something out, my brain won't stop seeking it. I can't have, it's like my brain is a problem solving seeking missile. And until I have fixed the thing, thought the thing through, created the solution, solved the problem, whatever it is, my brain is just going to keep going and going and going and going, even when I'm out for dinner, even when I'm doing other things. It's like there's something that just won't leave me alone until I solve the problem, right? I don't have that noise these days because my business is structured, it's set up, everything is there. The stage is set. The stage has been set for quite a while. And now I get to show up and perform, although perform is a really bad word because I hate people that perform online, pandering to the internet. I don't like that. But you know what I'm saying? I get to show up and stand on stage and take the microphone when I see fit because I want to, because I'm called to, not because I'm chasing something. And so if you are in that place of trying to figure it out, if your brain is like my brain and it's like, I can't rest until I figure this out, then you're going to have a really hard time taking any time away from your business because your brain just won't let you. And so if that's you and you're done with that and you're ready to actually make some big decisions and you're ready to stand by those decisions and you're ready to execute a strategy that is going to require far less effort and energy and thinking on your behalf so that you can enjoy your downtime, then I encourage you to come and join me inside of S.H.E Mastermind. That's what we do. I will help you to structure your business like mine so that when you take the weekends off, you can do that. And you may have the ability to switch off more than I do. Your conditioning for the grind and the hustle and distraction may not be as prevalent as mine. And so it may be easier for you, or it might be just as challenging for you as it is for me. I say challenging, it's definitely far less challenging than it ever has been, and it's getting better and better all of the time. But it's because of the exposure. I'm exposing myself to doing less on a daily basis, and it's working. And I know that ultimately I'm going to be where I want to be. It's working. Things are working in my business the way that I want them to work. And that's all that's all the, I guess, validation I need that rest is a good thing. It's really interesting. Last week, I had 2 days where I was just, my CLL has been acting up a little bit. I've had a couple of weeks of symptoms, which just means I'm really tired. And so there are a couple of days this afternoon when I went, you know what, I'm going to go hit the couch. I'm going to watch some Netflix. I'm going to leave my phone, leave my laptop, leave everything in my other room, and I'm just going to chill. And so I took a couple of hours and I just really, truly relaxed. I'd already done my content creation for the day. It felt fire. It felt like I don't actually need to do anything else today. I'll come back in and check in on my WhatsApp group just to make sure everybody's good. But, I can give myself 2 or 3 hours where I just have absolute downtime. And so I did that one of the days. I think it was on Wednesday. And then when I came back and opened up my computer, there was an inquiry from a past client who wanted to chat about joining the mastermind. So I said, you want to jump on a call? I'm free now. And she's like, yeah, let's jump on a call. And she came into the mastermind. And then on Thursday, same thing, sent out an email. It felt so good. And I, again, went and laid on the couch, did my thing, came back in, and there was a message from another past client who was really thinking about the mastermind, and she just wanted to have a bit of a chat. And it was like, oh, I love this. I love that when I deliberately step away from my business, when I don't half-ass it, when I'm like, I am unplugging phone, everything is staying in here, I'm going to chill, the magic always happens. It's just the way it just happens. And so I'm getting all of this amazing feedback that when I don't show, when I take time away, when I actually let people miss me, when I actually trust in the fact that the energy of what I've created is going to be out there for a very long time. It's not like a hit of whatever where it only lasts 5 minutes. It's like I'm aware that when I'm creating things, the energy lingers for a very long time. And, these are all the intangible things, right, that help us to be, help us create success. I do believe in the law of attraction and manifestation and all those things, but I do believe that for someone like me and maybe for someone like you, that stuff definitely works better when my ducks are in a row, when I know there is, you know how they say you're not supposed to worry about the how, like the universe will take care of the how. It's like, yeah, that's nice in theory. I need the how. So when I know the how is available through my content, when I know the how is available through my lead magnet running, and ads running to that, the podcast, when I know that the how is actually established, then it's very easy for me to lean in and practice those law of attraction habits, ways of thinking, ways of being. But I can't do that when the how is not there. But anyway, all of the intangible stuff for me, like it's an extra layer, but I don't believe that that stuff can work the way that we want it to work when we're in chaos. Like we need to have that level of clarity, especially when it pertains to our business. But it definitely helps, right? I know that when I know the energy that I'm in right now, this is the energy of every time I've had quantum leaps in my business, this is the exact energy. And it's not because I'm doing more, it's because I'm doing less and less and trusting that what I am creating is resonating very, very powerfully and for a long period of time. Anyway, that's it. Don't chase the algorithm. All you need to do is get that level of clarity around all the things that you need clarity around. And if you can't do that, if you've been thinking about joining the mastermind, but you're thinking, I just need to get clearer first because otherwise I'm going to be wasting my time, please don't do that. That's like saying, I'll get fit before I start at the gym. It just doesn't make any sense. My job is to help you to get that clarity. If you could get that clarity, you would have it by now, right? So my job is to help you find that clarity, make some strong decisions, and then work those decisions all the way through to the very end. So if the mastermind is something that you are interested in becoming a part of, I would love to have you within my world. It is a life-changing program, and I know that it is something that is going to help you to achieve that next level that you see for yourself and your business in a way that is probably completely unexpected for you, because it's around less. Less is more, but done better and with more clarity. Anyway, that is it. I will see you hopefully inside the mastermind. And if not, I will see you next week on the podcast. Bye for now.